Yo, what is up everyone, Jay here with another Fire Emblem Heroes video, and today I'm going to take a look at the Fire Emblem Engage banner that has just been revealed for the first main series New Heroes banner of 2023, and this makes sense because they want to advertise and promote the game that is coming out, the next mainline Fire Emblem game that is coming out on the 20th. So Fire Emblem Engage is here. I think Three Houses also did the same thing back in 2019. They got a banner before their game came out. But yeah, Alfred is the first unit on the banner. He's the only dude on this banner, sadly. So Alfred here is a Lance Cavalier, which is not the greatest class to be in because it's a very competitive class type, but he's actually pretty good. He doesn't come with a PRF though. He does provide the Arcane Lance, which is going to be sought after for sure because there's a lot of Lance units that can use this. People with old refines or just don't have PRFs at all. So Arcane Lance here. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. I'm just going to call it Arcane Lance. But Arcane Lance on Alfred here is going to be gonna help this banner sell for sure. So he gives him -1 special cooldown at the start of combat. If he's alive, he grants +5 to all stats during combat, makes a guaranteed follow-up, the foe can't make a follow-up attack, and also if the foe or unit initiates combat after moving to a different space, they grant special cooldown charge +1 to him or whoever's using this lance. So that's a pretty good effect because most of the time foes are going to be attacking you by moving a space, and especially if you're a cavalry unit, you're going to be moving around. So that's really easy, kind of like a clash effect going on. So this is similar to Maltet in a way because you have the guaranteed follow-up attack and the foe can't make a follow-up attack. Obviously it's not as good as Maltet, but the fact that it's kind of similar is pretty good, and the effects overall are pretty solid. So Arcane Lance is going to be great for a lot of units. He comes with Bonfire and his own signature A skill, Self-Improver. This is kind of crazy because this grants him attack +10, speed +5, and defense +20 just by having this skill. It's a visible stat boost, I'm pretty sure. So it doesn't say during combat, so it's like Fortress Defense Res, it's like still water, stuff like that. So giving him basically +35 to his whole stats is kind of crazy, and only having a penalty of -res or -5 res. So this is kind of crazy. Plus attack 10, +5 speed, and +20 defense. Like even if he has low defense, like his defense is going to be at least decent. So I'm assuming his stat spread is going to be, at least decent speed, high attack, middle to high defense. So the fact that he gets this many stats in one skill, we've never really seen this before. All these stats at once, this much stats in one skill. So that's pretty insane. He comes with the ability to also have the special cooldown charges on the foe. So he has the guard effect with special charges in the weapon. So that's going to synergize really well. And then he comes with Flow and Trace, which is a new flow skill, basically the same as Flow Guard and Flow Refresh, except you have Cantor remaining +1, and he comes with Cross Spur Attack as, a support skill. So that's one of the best ones for sure to get. And Alfred's a pretty solid Lance Cavalier, even though he doesn't have, PRF. He kind of makes up with it with his PRF A skill, which is kind of crazy. At the end of the day, it's still just stats, but still, that's a sheer amount of stats for sure. And then next is his little sister. I think it's his little sister, right? Celine. I haven't been paying too much attention to Engage, honestly. Like, I know there's my friends out there and people that have been already picking their favorite characters, and that they've revealed a lot, but I haven't been keeping up. People are already making video essays and stuff like that about their favorite characters, but I'm going into the game pretty much blind. I don't know much at all, and I prefer it that way. But yeah, Celine here is a green infantry mage, and she's pretty good, and she's a really supportive mage. This tome right here is kind of crazy. So Joy's tome gives her -1 special cooldown at the start of turn if she's within 3 spaces of an ally. And keep that in mind because this weapon has a lot of 3 spaces of an ally condition. Restores 7 HP to unit and allies within 3 spaces of her. Restores 7 HP to allies within 3 spaces of unit after their combat. So at the start of turn and also after the combat, and also reduces damage from attacks during combat from AoEs by the percentage equal to the number of allies with HP greater than or equal to 50% within 3 spaces of units. So another 3 spaces condition times 15, max 45%. So you can get up to 45% damage reduction. And again, if unit is within 3 spaces of an ally, grants +5 to all her stats, which is very easy, and deals damage equal to the number of allies within 3 spaces of her that have, again, HP greater than or equal to 50 times 5. So that's also really good true damage. Deals damage equal to that. So if you have 3 spaces, if you have 2 units within 3 spaces of her, that means it's going to have 10% true damage. And then also restores 7 HP after combat. So the only downside to this weapon really is the fact that, in terms of support, is that it does get shut down by Fatal Smoke. So all the healing is not going to work if you're fighting someone with Fatal Smoke. But Fatal Smoke at the end of the day is not very common at all. I do expect it to become a seal sometime because that would be a really cool seal to have. But yeah, Joyous Tome is amazing. And the funny thing is this tome already has a typo apparently. Like if you go into the bulletin right now, they say that they made a mistake on the weapon. I think the mistake is something like she still gets the healing even if she's not within 3 spaces of an ally, like it just heals her, something like that. I'm not exactly sure, but Joyous Tome already has a typo. Like, it's funny because I know they make these banners in advance, but the fact there was already a mistake is kind of funny. And then she comes with Iceberg, Speed Res Ideal, which is the ideal skill we didn't have before, and Canto Control, which I'm kind of hyped for because you know, someone who's trying to plus 10 Medius now, this is actually available on someone else besides him, and it's also someone in the regular pool. So Canto Control would be kind of nice to have. I mean, what I shouldn't even say couldn't, or kind of. It's really good to have. Canto Control is an amazing skill. So I'd like to free pull Celine for sure. But that's her kit. You know, pretty, not as crazy as her brother, honestly, but she does have the PRF, of course, and pretty solid fodder overall. So there she is, going to nuke this thief. And yeah, that is Celine. Next unit on the banner is Chloe. Now this is one of the first characters when Engage was like first revealed and they were showing characters. This is one of the first characters that really caught my eye because she's absolutely cute, and she's a lance flyer. I do love my flyers, and her voice lines too is super funny. She mentions like eating deep fried snake and gecko and like fish eyeballs, so I didn't know she was a foodie. I guess she's a foodie of sorts. But yeah, Chloe here, amazing art. And she comes with Dreaming Spear. This gives her -1 special cooldown and grants plus $5 stats. I think that's a visible stat buff because it doesn't say during combat, so kind of like Alfred had. And if unit is on a team with 2 allies and a support partner pair, excluding herself, she makes a guaranteed follow-up attack and also inflicts a guard on the foe. So that means, you know, she's like me, she likes some romance, so I guess that's part of her personality. She likes to see people, you know, being in love, so I guess support partner pair makes sense. And then also she deals damage 20% of her resistance and also reduces damage from the foe by 20% of her resistance. So being a flyer, especially lance flyer, she's going to have a lot of resistance. That's pretty common. She comes with Distance Stance, Glimmer, and Pegasus Flight 4, which is going to help her use more of her resistance, of course, and her speed. This is better than the tier 3 version because it's not just, I think before it was 50%, now it's up to 80% difference, which is amazing. And also you can stop the foe from making a follow-up attack if you have more speed and resistance than the foe, which is going to be pretty easy for Chloe here. So yeah, Chloe is a pretty solid flyer. You know, it's a competitive class type, but she can stand out decently well, I think. Even though her weapon isn't the craziest and it does, you know, require some specific conditions. And, you know, you do have to go out of your way to put a partner pair with her if you want to make the most out of her weapon. Still a pretty good flyer for sure, and she's going to have the updated stats. So yeah, that is Chloe. Pegasus Flight 4 is going to be amazing on a lot of the other flyers too, like Sheeta or Claire. But yeah, that is Chloe. Amazing art as well. I keep saying it because she honestly might be my favorite. Not sure though. At least on paper at first she was. And then next is Alear, of course, female Alear Dragon Child. You can't have the first banner without the protagonist. Alear is a sword infantry unit, and even though it's in the most saturated class in the game, they are insanely strong. They have a lot of effects that sword infantry units don't have. So Liberation gives her the ability to move like Summer Edelgard, having the charge effect, so it's assault troop. And not only did she give that to herself, she can give that to her allies, but it has to be support partners. So it's not as easy, but still, giving that within 3 spaces of a unit for 1 turn is kind of crazy. Grants plus $5 stats during combat and inflicts speed defense debuffs on the foe, X equaling the number of allies from distinct titles within 3 spaces of her, times 4 plus 4, max is 12. So that means if you have someone like Ike, Marth, and Roy next to her, that means that's 3, you know, characters from 3 different titles. So that means you can get up to 12. So that's pretty crazy because, I mean, it's obviously a reference to Engage being a celebration of Fire Emblem, having all the other lords from previous games, or most of them anyway, in the game. And, you know, if they're from distinct titles, it's kind of like Asker's Open Domain, where, you know, you are the best with people from different, or it doesn't have to be from different titles, it's just distinct ones, right? So it's just different ones. And yeah, so that's pretty cool. And then also, if unit speed is greater than the foe's speed, she also has a damage reduction up to 40%. So having this in the weapon is kind of crazy because she can stack it with the close call. The only weakness here, obviously, she doesn't have like no follow-up, but you can obviously outsource that and get it from the Seal or other units, from Lind, from a girl Lind, for example. So Alear's weapon is pretty stacked, honestly. It's going to make her one of the fastest units in the game, and I'm not looking forward to fighting like plus 10 Alears with this much investment, having no follow-up and stuff. It's going to be crazy to take her down. She comes with Luna attack speed ideal 4 to help getting more attack and speed, and close call 4. Didn't expect the tier 4 damage reduction B skill, but I guess at this point it's expected. Close call 4 before just gave you the damage reduction and the ability to have hit and run, but now you inflict speed defense -4 on the foe during combat, so you get stats. And if a skill compares unit speed to a foe or ally speed, treats unit speed as if granted +7. So it's kind of like phantom speed, but it's not exactly phantom speed. It's like +7 phantom speed instead of +10, which is still pretty good. And if you have more speed than the foe, you reduce damage, of course, the same classic we've seen. And then also you can move 1 space away from combat. But the difference now, instead of just having 40%, it's actually up to 50, which is going to make this skill even harder. It's going to make Alear and any kind of sword god or infantry tank just harder to take down. And I'm really tempted to get this skill for my Brave Mars, because I use Close Call 3 in some riddles a lot to retreat back and get into Winter Mars range. So Close Call 4 would be really amazing for sure. And she comes with Speed Smoke 4 as well. So Alear is stacked to heck, and she's going to be one of the best sword infantry units in the game. Even though I said she doesn't have no follow-up or like no guard or something, she can still make it up for it. And you know, she might not even need no guard because she's just gonna get so bulky. Obviously though, it is still pierceable by stuff like Deadeye and stuff. But yeah, Alear is definitely someone you gotta watch out for. So that is Alear. And then that's the banner. So you know, Fire Emblem Engage, it comes out pretty soon. I'm kind of excited for the game. You know, I'm giving it a chance, of course. Hopefully it's fun. And I know a lot of people are upset that their favorites aren't in the game, like Diamant or Alfred and all these characters. But you know, it's the first banner, so they're going to be getting more banners throughout the years. So don't worry about that. But yeah, that is the Fire Emblem Engage banner. Let me know what you guys think down below. Are you going to be summoning on it? I'm definitely skipping this. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that. I might go for Alear just for that Close Call 4, honestly. But after going for after going for Kadean Lind, I feel like I should just save. So I'm not sure, but Close Call 4 is juicy and tempting for sure. And then of course Canto Control, so it's pretty decent fodder all around though. Like I think Close Call 4 isn't the most sought after skill unless you're a sword infantry or infantry enthusiast like myself. You know, you can just suffice with the regular tier 3 ones, but still pretty good banner overall in terms of skills. And of course these units are going to sell well, and it's going to help promote the game. So that is the Fire Emblem Engage banner. Again, let me know what you guys think. Leave a like if you enjoyed listening to me ramble as always. Oh, and I forgot to mention, Lumera is the GHB. That is Alear's mother, so she's going to be kind of interesting. I hope she's a good free-to-play unit for sure. But yeah, that is the video. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and peace out, guys.